Hello everyone and welcome to UGC NET exam preparation. As you all know that this is lecture series for paper 2 and in this class we are going to talk about ecosystem and ecology. This chapter is little bit broader, so I'll take in multiple parts. So this is part 1 and we'll study another part like part 1, part 2, part 3, like that. We're going to finish this chapter, and this chapter is very important for your examination. Many questions are asked from this chapter itself, so please watch this class carefully, and let's begin. So in this class we are going to study ecology and ecosystem, its definition, and the concept of ecology concept of ecosystem, ecosystem structure, type of ecosystem, and ecosystem boundary. So these are the topics we are going to cover in this class. So let's see the ecology. The interaction in nature are studied in the branch of science termed as ecology. Ecology is a branch of science where we study the interaction of nature, how nature are interacting in our earth. We study in ecology. We study about that in ecology. Okay. So I just wanted to ask you questions like I have mentioned here. Have you wondered why forests are covered with huge green trees? Besides trees, apart from trees, there are more. What more is present in the forest? Apart from trees, what more is present in the trees? Why are there is a difference in the forest types along the physical gradients? Why the plants and animals in a pond differ from a ocean? Why there is a difference between a pond animals and plants from an ocean? How the availability of water and temperature could mark a difference in vegetation of a desert and tundra region. How the animals affect the water nutrient availability in the soil. How does fire affect the amount of food availability in grasslands. So we can ask ourselves these questions: why this difference, why there is a lots of difference, why and how animals are affecting the water and nutrient availability, how fires are affecting the availability of food in the grassland. So all these question answers we can find from ecology. In the study of ecology we can find out the answer, we can give an answer to these questions. So ecology does tell us about all those things. Okay, the term ecology was first coined by German biologist. His name is Ernest Haeckel. He termed this ecology in 1869. Okay, Haeckel defined that this German biologist Ernest Haeckel, he defined ecology as a study of natural environment. He defined it is the study of natural environment, including the relationship of organisms to one another and their surroundings. Okay, it derives this ecology word derives from Greek word. One is oikos, which means home, and logos means study. Thus, literally, ecology is the study of life at home with main emphasis on pattern of relation between organisms and their surrounding environment. Okay, this is about the ecology. This is definition of ecology. See, here I have taken a diagram like level of biological organization. See, it starts from a water molecule. Water molecules are consist of one oxygen atom and two hydrogen atom. Uh, this is oxygen atom and these are two. As you know, hydrogen is H2O, which means there are two hydrogen atom and one oxygen. Okay, from one molecule to macromolecular. Here there are multiple molecules are attached and it is called macromolecular. Then it goes to organelles, then comes to cell, cell to tissue, tissue to organ, then organ system. From organ system, it goes to organism. Organism is proper living creature, organism. Okay, then from organism to population, from population to community, from community to ecosystem and biosphere. Please remember this circle. Okay, this might ask in your examination. Okay, this order. Okay, then come to ecology. Types of ecology. Ecology is divided into two branches depending upon whether they are individual organism or they are in a group of organisms. So ecology is divided into two. One is autoecology and another is synecology. Okay, what is autoecology? Autoecology is the study of an individual species in relation to its environment, known as uh, autoecology. Autoecology is simple. It is a study of individual species in relation with their environment. Okay, it includes the study of its geographical location, geographical distribution, taxonomic position, morphological character, it, its life cycle, and behavior with reference to ecological factor that might influence these activities. Okay, for example, study of a particular fish, where it lives, what it eats, how many eggs it lays, etc. So this is about the study of individual species, how it survives, how it is producing its offspring, how it is giving a birth, like overall study of individual species. That is autoecology. Then comes to synecology. Synecology is the opposite to autoecology, whereas in autoecology it is study about individual species. In synecology, it is a study of group of organisms in relation to their environment. That is called ecology. Here, the unit of study is group of species. For example, the study of aquatic flora and fauna in a particular river, the kind of fishes, other animals living in it, and types of plant found, and interrelationship between plants and the animals and the physical factors of water. So, ecology means a study of group of organisms. So these are the two types of ecology, that is autoecology and ecology. Then comes to concept of ecosystem. Ecology is done. Now we'll see the concept of ecosystem. In nature, the living organism, that is plants, animals, and microorganisms, and the non-living environment, that is water, air, and soil, are inseparably interrelated and interact with each other. In the nature, both living organism and non-living organism, they are interrelated and they interact with each other. No living organism can be exist by itself. Okay, there is no living organism that can survive or exist without by itself or without an environment. Okay, for example, living organism cannot survive without, what do you say, environment. Okay, every organism uses energy, nutrients, and water from its surrounding environment in various life activities. You know all this. Okay, the plant obtain the energy directly from sun. In case of animal and microorganisms, energy is taken from other organisms through feeding on plants, predation, parasitism, and or decomposition. Here it says plant it obtains energy from the sun to produce its own food. And in case of animal and microorganism, they take energy from other organisms through feeding on plants or through feeding on predation, parasitism. Through decomposition, they take energy in the form of this process. Okay, the terrestrial plant obtain water mainly from soil, while animals get it from free standing water in the environment or from their food. Okay. The plant obtain most of their nutrient from the soil or water. This is simple. Plant obviously obtain most of their nutrient from soil or from water, while animals get their nutrients from plants or other organisms. Microorganisms, the most versatile, obtain obtaining nutrients from soil, water, food, and other organisms. As a result, the organisms interact with one another and with their environment in a number of ways. In a multiple ways, the organisms are interacting with the environments. Okay, this fundamental interaction among organisms and their living physiochemical environment constitute an interrelating and interdependent ever-changing system known as ecological system. This interaction between organisms and their environment in a various way is called ecological system or ecosystem. Okay, the ecosystem has been considered as the basic fundamental unit of ecology, and ecology as a study of ecosystem. Okay, this is concept of ecosystem. Then ecosystem structure. The ecosystem is largely divided into two components, the biotic and abiotic. Abiotic means non-living and biotic is living component. Here, under abiotic components are non-living physical and chemical factors that influence the living organisms and the functioning of ecosystems. Okay? They form the physical environment in which living or living organism they component interacts. Here, abiotic. Abiotic components are living organisms, as you all know that. I have mentioned earlier already. They are classified into three categories again in the role of ecosystem. That is producer, those who produce their own food. Consumer, they eat the producer. Then the last one, decomposer. What is producer? Producer are nothing but they are the mainly green plants with chlorophyll content in their body, which gives them the ability to use solar energy to manufacture their own food using simple inorganic abiotic substance through the process of photosynthesis. Plants they produce or they manufacture their own food through the process of photosynthesis using abiotic substance, that is sunlight, air, water. By using that substance, it produces their own food, that is producer. They are also called photoautotrophs. Photo means light, auto means self, and troph means nutrition. Okay? This group is mainly constituted by green plants, herbs. These produce are mainly constitute green plants, herbs, shrubs, trees, phytoplankton, algae, mosses. So these are the organisms. They produce their own food. They are called producers. There are some chemosynthetic bacteria also present. Sulfur sulfur bacteria, that could be sulfur bacteria. They present in a deep ocean which can synthesize their own food in the absence of sunlight. The ability of these bacteria is they can produce their own food without sunlight, in the absence of sunlight, thus known as chemoautotrophs. Chemo means chemical, autotroph is nutrition. Okay, then consumer, they do not have chlorophyll, so they depend on producer for food. Producer pro, uh, they are depending on producer. Producer means this consumer depending on plants, shrubs, trees for their food. They are also known as heterotrophs. They are also known as heterotrophs. They mainly include herbivores. They feed on plants. Carnivores. Carnivores is the next level. You can say second secondary consumer. Carnivores, they feed on other animals. Here comes omnivores. They feed on both, that is, plants and animals. Detrivores and organisms. They feed on dead parts, waste remains, etc. of plant and animals. Okay. Decomposer. They are also called saprotrophs. They are microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, which break down complex organic matter into simple or inorganic form. What these decomposers first do, they'll break down the complex organic matter, then they'll turn them into simpler inorganic forms. Let's remember, from dead organic matter to simpler inorganic forms. Then they absorb some of its decomposition product and release inorganic nutrients that are reused by producer. After absorbing some of them, they will be releasing that inorganic nutrients into the soil again. Then they will be reused by the producer again. So it will go in a cycle. Here the producer will be eaten by consumer, then it will go decomposer, and decomposer will break down and release that nutrient into, then again the plants will take this. So it is going in a circle. Okay, all ecosystem have their own set of producer, consumer, decomposer, which specific which are specific to that ecosystem. So, okay. This is nutritional relationship among different biotic components of an ecosystem. From sun, it will this producer they will obtain energy. This producer will be eaten by herbivores, and herbivores will be eaten by carnivores. From carnivores to decomposer, they will release that inorganic nutrient again to nutrient pool soil. Nutrient pool means soil or water. That from there, this will be taken up by again by producer. Okay. Then there are types of ecosystem. This is also very important, not only in the UGC NET exam. This from this topic questions are asked in different other competitive exam also. So based on the kind of habitat, there are essentially two types of ecosystem. There are two types of ecosystem. That is terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. What is terrestrial ecosystem? That ecosystem which are present on land are called ecosystem. They are also classified again: forest ecosystem, desert ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, mountain ecosystem. Okay. Again, forest ecosystem are subcategories into multiple types. There are tropical rainforest. That is equatorial region. It has tropical rainforest. Tropical rainforest means it's a very dense forest. Continuous raining occur in this region due to the presence of excessive nutrient and excessive rainfall. The forests are very dense. Then comes the tropical deciduous forest, temperate evergreen forest, temperate deciduous forest, and taiga. Okay. Now comes the second category, that is aquatic ecosystem. Aquatic ecosystem is the ecosystem which are found in a body of water. It encompasses aquatic flora, fauna, and water properties. There are two main types of aquatic ecosystem, that is marine ecosystem and freshwater ecosystem. Marine ecosystem is nothing but they are the biggest ecosystem which cover almost 71% of Earth's surface and contain 97% of planet's water. Water in a marine ecosystem contain high dissolved minerals and salts. Various marine ecosystems include oceanic, a relative shallow part of oceans, which lie on the continental shelf, profound and deep sea bottom water, benthic bottom substrate, intertidal. What is intertidal? The place between the low tide and high tide. That place is called intertidal. Estuaries, coral reefs, salt marshes, hydrothermal vents, where chemosynthetic bacteria make up the food base, and many kind of organisms live in the ecosystem. In the marine ecosystem, lots of biodiversity, lots of organisms they are living, and such as coral reefs, uh, chemosynthetic bacteria, fishes. Many species are present in marine ecosystem. Then comes the freshwater ecosystem. The freshwater ecosystem covers only 0.8% of Earth's surface and contains 0.009% of total water. See how less this quantity is. There are only 0.009%. Three basic kinds of freshwater ecosystem exist. That is lentic freshwater ecosystem. Lentic means they are slow moving, or they are still like pools. They are not moving. They are kind of like pools, lakes, ponds. They are lentic ecosystem means they are still water. Lotic They're fast-moving water, such as a stream, river, and the third one is wetlands, the place in which the soil is inundated or saturated for some lengthy period of time. Wetland. This is the place where water are there. Okay. Then comes the ecosystem boundary. Ecosystems appear distinct from each other with time and space, but functionally they linked with each other. No ecosystem can exist alone. For ecosystem to exist, they have they are linked with each other. There is no ecosystem that can exist alone. Okay, they are always in contact with their adjacent ecosystem. There, there exists no functional boundaries between them. There is no functional boundary exists between any two ecosystems. Adjacent ecosystems always interact with each other in order to make their structure and function. For example, berries insect may be aquatic for certain parts of their life cycle. No? There are many insects they might be aquatic for certain parts of their life cycle. Later on, they become herbivores on the vegetation on the land. Later, they'll move to lands and become herbivores. The adjacent aquatic and land ecosystem may have common organisms like birds. There is an exchange of inorganic nutrients between them. For example, seabirds bring the element phosphorus from sea to land in the form of guano. The same elephant, that same elephant which birds bring to the land, that element phosphorus is found in the Himalayan region may be brought to land by rivers. The boundaries of ecosystem do overlap, uh, and this overlapping area is known as the transition zone. The transition zone is called ecotone. Please remember, ecotone is the transition zone between two ecosystems. Okay, it can be wide or narrow. It can be bigger or just small. The tropical rainforest and savanna, along with the grassland, are also included under it. This area has plants and animals of both ecosystems. Okay, so in this class, this is all about ecosystem and ecology. This is introduction part only. In the next class, we will study some more in depth about this topic. So this is all for today, and please do subscribe to this channel and help me to grow this channel. And thank you, and see you in the next class.